Can cancer be defeated? Here are 10 superfoods you can't miss. Hello, everyone. Today, we're diving into the best foods that help fight cancer, those that can effectively starve cancer cells. But to truly understand these foods, we first need to know what cancer thrives on. If we want to starve cancer cells, what is it that feeds them? The primary culprit is glucose. There's a concept called the Warburg effect, and we'll explore it in detail shortly. Chronic inflammation, carcinogenic compounds, and various other chemicals can cause mutations in cells, turning them from normal cells into cancerous ones. Additionally, high oxidative stress can create an environment conducive to cancer growth. When our immune system is weak, we cannot effectively fight cancer. Normally, a certain number of cells naturally degrade over time, but with a healthy immune system, we can eliminate them efficiently. If your immune system isn't functioning well, cancer can gain an advantage. Hormonal imbalances can also lead to cancer, and gut health plays a crucial role as well. If your gut isn't healthy, for instance, if there are imbalances in your gut microbiome, it can impact almost every other factor. I've assigned each of these factors a small label, so we can clarify things throughout this discussion. The first thing we need to understand about these factors is that when talking about anti-cancer foods, or the best foods for specific health concerns, most people tend to think in terms of magic pills. They believe they'll find one miraculous food that can enter their body and wipe out all the bad things. But that's not how it works. First, we must recognize that certain elements contribute to cancer development. If we continue to expose our bodies to these elements, we won't be able to improve the situation. Therefore, the first step is to eliminate all the different factors that may help cancer thrive. Next, we need to identify the foods that are genuinely beneficial, specific food groups or items that can support the body, boost the immune system, and counteract or mitigate some of these contributing factors. The Warburg effect primarily highlights that cancer cells prefer glucose. They are different from your natural cells. They originate from cells in your body, but have undergone changes. Essentially, there are two ways cells, whether normal or cancerous, can produce energy. The first is called glycolysis, and the second is called oxidative phosphorylation. In the body, glycolysis can occur without oxygen, whereas oxidative phosphorylation, the most efficient way to produce energy, requires oxygen. Glucose is the primary fuel and can be utilized in both pathways, glycolysis, anaerobic, and oxidation, aerobic. In contrast, fat can only be metabolized through the oxidative pathway in the presence of oxygen. In healthy cells, oxygen is typically available, so they prioritize oxidative phosphorylation to generate energy more efficiently. However, when oxygen is scarce, cells can still rely on glycolysis, though it is less energy efficient. Cancer cells, on the other hand, behave abnormally, favoring glycolysis even when oxygen is sufficient. This preference allows cancer cells to quickly produce energy to meet their rapid growth needs. This becomes dangerous when blood glucose levels remain consistently high, creating favorable conditions for cancer cells to thrive. Cancer cells prefer glucose, and high blood sugar levels act as fuel to the fire, enabling them to multiply more rapidly. This mechanism is exploited in PET scans, where glucose is used to identify tumors that absorb it most intensely on imaging. Based on the Warburg effect, a low-carbohydrate, low-carb, or ketogenic diet can help reduce blood sugar levels, effectively starving cancer cells. Some beneficial foods for such a diet include healthy fats, avocado, extra virgin olive oil, coconut oil, nut butters. Low-carb vegetables, leafy greens, kale, spinach, and non-starchy vegetables, cauliflower, zucchini. High-protein foods, grass-fed meats, wild-caught fish, free-range poultry. Nuts and mushrooms, almonds, chia seeds, mushrooms, low in carbs, and do not significantly raise blood sugar levels. Understanding this mechanism allows for smarter food choices that not only support overall health, but also help control the growth of cancer cells effectively. A balanced diet low in sugar and rich in healthy fats may be the key to sustainable health support. You need to understand that when I provide you with a list, it doesn't mean these are the only or the best foods. Instead, we need to recognize the commonalities among these foods and understand that there are many similar options. In fact, any truly natural food with similar properties will also have positive effects. Moreover, while these foods are chosen to align with the Warburg effect and to starve cancer cells by limiting their sugar intake, many of them, if truly natural, can also help reduce or avoid chronic inflammation, carcinogens, and harmful chemicals. Inflammation is a key driver of cancer, so we aim to consume foods that reduce inflammation or are at least neutral. This includes all low-carbohydrate foods, because eating excessive carbohydrates can lead to insulin resistance, which promotes inflammation. Additionally, natural compounds found in garlic, turmeric, and ginger have powerful anti-inflammatory properties. In natural foods, many compounds provide comprehensive health benefits, including regulating inflammation, balancing hormones, boosting immunity, and improving gut health. Here are some notable examples and their effects on the body. 1. Regulating inflammation and supporting the liver. Blueberries contain anthocyanin, a potent antioxidant that helps control inflammation. Fatty fish, rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which reduce inflammation naturally without side effects like medication. Broccoli supplies sulforaphane, which protects cells and enhances liver function. Extra virgin olive oil contains oleocanthal, a natural compound with effective anti-inflammatory properties. Caring for the liver is the primary organ responsible for detoxification and processing carcinogenic substances. However, excessive sugar and carbohydrate intake can lead to fatty liver, overburdening this vital organ. Foods that support liver health include cruciferous vegetables. Broccoli, cauliflower contain glucosinolates, which aid in detoxification. Tomatoes, rich in lycopene, which protects the liver from free radicals. Allium family foods. Garlic contains sulfur compounds that support the liver's detoxification processes. Eggs provide choline, essential for fat metabolism and detoxification processes. By understanding these connections, we can make smarter dietary choices that support overall health, reduce inflammation, and aid in protecting the liver and body from harmful substances. 2. Boosting immunity. Natural foods help improve immunity by increasing white blood cell production and balancing immune responses. Garlic and ginger possess natural antibacterial properties that support the immune system in fighting bacteria. Mushrooms contain beta-glucan, which stimulates immune function. Bell peppers, packed with vitamin C, even more than oranges, to enhance immunity. 3. Balancing hormones and reducing cancer risk. Two key hormones linked to cancer are estrogen and insulin. Elevated insulin levels, often caused by insulin resistance, can stimulate excessive estrogen production. Reducing carbohydrate intake in the diet can help stabilize insulin and balance hormones. Broccoli contains indole 3-carbinol, which supports estrogen metabolism and regulation. Fatty fish and olive oil, rich in unsaturated fats that reduce inflammation and help regulate hormones. 4. Antioxidants and reducing oxidative stress. Oxidation is a natural process that generates energy, but also produces free radicals. Adding natural antioxidants to the diet helps neutralize free radicals, reducing the risk of cellular damage. Berries, dark chocolate, green tea, contain compounds like flavonoids and polyphenols. Turmeric contains curcumin, which supports anti-inflammatory actions and protects cells. Pomegranate, rich in antioxidants that help reduce oxidative stress. 5. Gut health and immunity. A healthy gut is critical for immune function and hormone balance. Some foods that support gut health include fermented foods, such as yogurt, kimchi, and sauerkraut, which provide probiotics to balance gut microbiota. Fiber from vegetables feeds beneficial gut bacteria. Now, let's compare the different mechanisms that lead to cancer and examine how processed foods can influence these processes. First, processed foods are often high in sugar and refined white flour. They are primarily made from these ingredients, which significantly raise blood sugar levels. This immediately violates the principle of not feeding cancer. Additionally, consuming sugar and refined white flour over time leads to chronic inflammation, which is the most common mechanism driving insulin resistance and chronic inflammation. At this point, we've already violated the second principle concerning chronic inflammation. Processed foods high in sugar and white flour also generate a significant amount of oxidative stress. Once again, this is a blow to the body in terms of oxidative stress. Furthermore, processed foods contain numerous chemicals, including artificial sweeteners, artificial flavors, synthetic dyes, pesticides, thickeners, and preservatives. Not only are some of these substances potentially carcinogenic, and we may not discover all their effects for years to come, but many additives used in some countries are banned in others. These chemicals also contribute to oxidative stress and inflammation. So, once again, this doesn't just impact one issue, it can lead to a cascade of problems. In fact, we can see 4 out of 7 major concerns tied to processed foods. Processed foods also compromise the immune system. They place additional strain on your immune defenses, earning processed foods a big red X in terms of immune health. Now, how do processed foods affect hormone regulation? We know that sugar and refined white flour elevate blood sugar levels, insulin, and insulin resistance, and insulin, as we've discussed before, triggers the release of estrogen. Beyond that, many chemicals added to processed foods act as endocrine disruptors, meaning they interfere with your hormonal system. Many of these chemicals mimic the shape and size of hormones, allowing them to interact with the same receptors, which confuses the body. They can block certain functions, overstimulate others, or fit into receptors and block proper signaling. As a result, you may end up with too much, or too little of a particular hormone due to endocrine system disruption. Processed foods are remarkably effective at wreaking havoc on your hormonal balance. What about gut health? How do processed foods impact it? When we understand the close connection between gut health and all other factors, meaning these mechanisms lead to disruption, imbalance, and the overgrowth of harmful pathogens, it becomes clear how detrimental processed foods can be. Disrupting the balance of your gut environment creates problems that cascade into more significant issues, worsening overall health. When we interfere by adding chemicals and packaging it up, processed food no longer functions as real food. I've just highlighted how various mechanisms that contribute to cancer are heavily influenced by different factors and chemicals. Let's learn to understand what real food truly is and strive to consume only real, natural foods. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, click the bell, and turn on all notifications so you won't miss any potentially life-saving content. Wishing you great health.